Hi, my name is Michael G, and have a video for you today. This is about computers and smartphones accelerate the loss of reality. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. Computers and smartphones accelerate the loss of reality. Now, why is that happening? And as it's happening, what are people doing? Well, for starters, everybody in the last, I'd say, 20 years or so has had this gradual shift towards more a virtual world. A virtual world. And the virtual world has become the new reality. Or some people call this the hyper reality, where you can pretty much have anything that you want, per se, or dominion over whatever you see on the screen. You can go search, you can create websites, web pages, or Facebook or social media, and create a certain reality there. But that is not a reality. That's a fake reality. So this virtual world is based on probability. Probability. Now, you got to follow along with me for a bit so you see where we go with this. Probability is what allows the computer software to work. Or computers actually work on the basis of probability. Now, the funny thing is that 9-10 years ago I would make videos that there's a masculine component and a feminine component of the body. Okay, and the masculine and the feminine is also male and female. The female component works on probability, and the masculine works in relativity. This is the truth of everything. Let us make man in our image, which we have relativity, and the female being probability. When we are going into using more computers and smartphones, we are losing our relativity, which is the visible world, and we're heading into probability. Our heads, our bodies and heads are not made for this type of world, because the gatekeepers of the computers and the software want to lock us into this world of probability so that they can make money. So everything that is done with these apps or social media is designed to keep you in this blindness, I would say. Because the more that you get into this blindness, the more that you lose touch of regular reality. This is very easy to see now with just the idea of, choosing your gender. How can you choosing gender is now, what are you, blind? You come with a certain set of body parts. That's already figured out and goes all the way down to the XY or X. It goes to your chromosomes and also your skeleton. All the skeletons can be figured out pretty quickly, which is male and female. One has a canal that can pass the baby, the other one doesn't. So all this lunacy, ludicrousness, is that we are heading into a place of no light. No light. There is no light in probability. There is no light. And now we can read something in the Bible that's pretty interesting. Luke 6:39. And he, this is Jesus, spake a simile to them. Now remember, analogous teaching. Is blind able to lead blind? Shall they not both fall into a pit? Can the blind lead? When you're getting into this, you are in a sense putting yourself into the matrix, and you are becoming blind on reality. And when you're blind of reality, you are being merchandised. You're being used for money. And this is very easily seen. I mean, just look at how the makeup industry is profiting on the insecurity of women, because inside the virtual world, perfection is key. They sell you perfection. So you're not seeing the person anymore. You're seeing an image, a created image, and it's no longer reality. Another thing that really makes a big difference, and this just came in the news today, and I said, all right, let me make this topic the video, is Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson is a corporation. Why am I talking about a corporation? Today, the news talked about Johnson & Johnson is changing their logo. So they are no longer going to have script, because the young people do not know how to read script. So, look at the difference. The difference, script, they can't read. Script ties the letters together. That's what script does. These, or non-script, is separating the letters. And this is exactly what's happening with our society. You are being separated. You don't know how to read script. You're no longer together. Also, further, is that the computers and smartphones, what they do is the children today are being brought up hardly able to write. They're using the computer keys that they're pressing on a keyboard, wherever they're located, and whatever the letters are, they press the key. They do not write or draw a letter. Now, why is that so important, and what does that have to do with reality? Well, other of my videos from 9-10 years ago would talk about that when you write and draw, what you're doing is you're connecting more to your spiritual self. Because every time you write a word, let's say smart, you are writing or drawing 4 pictures. Or if you're doing, this is a drawing. These are drawings. When you use your hands to draw the letters, you are now connecting more with your inner self. If you don't do this, you have a less connectivity to spirit and truth. And you could see how the whole society now, just looking at Johnson & Johnson, is being separated because they can't read. The young people today are being brought up not even being able to read reality. People think that the Matrix is going to be some big war or something like that. No. People are going to forsake reality for virtual reality. And God gives you what you want. God will give you what you want. The problem is, you don't know what you want. And when you get what you want, then you realize you're headed for destruction. People wonder, what are they being saved from? You know what you're being saved from? You know what salvation is? Saves you from your will. That's what salvation is about, to save you from your will. The more that you get into computers, social media, you are you are descending into probability, and in the quantum realm, you don't know where the electron is. You don't know. You don't know where the electron is when you are in the quantum realm. In the relativity, in the realm of relativity, when like, let's say we'll talk about the sun or light, when you add light, now you know where the electron is. You know where the electron is. This adding of light is like a judgment. And this is why it's the sun of righteousness riseth, because you are where you are supposed to be. When people are hooked up into the probability, they're not where they are supposed to be. They're not in the world of relativity. They are descending more and more into the fake world. Hyper reality. This is so dangerous for our society because the next generation will be totally impotent. They will not be able to reproduce. They will not be able to maintain reality. And this happens slowly. Here's another thing too. A lot of things now, they're starting to do this big wave of 3D printing. And we've had CNC for a while now. But 3D printing, CNC, and when you manufacture products that are all handled by computers or machines, you lose something, especially furniture. Because your environment now, where you live in, you're sitting on a chair, whatever. This chair is made by CNC or 3D printed or any sort of like very, very disconnected from humanity. The human is not making it. That chair now is not part of reality because a person didn't make it. You'd want to have more items that people make, and an example of this is art. They have it on the walls. It costs a lot of money, and art is valuable because it is an expression of the spirit, and people hang this on the walls. Digital art is not expensive. All right, fine, someone's going to say they made some digital thing and sold for $1,000, fine. But they're not going to sell something digital that's going to come close to, let's say, a Monet. It's just not. Because when you're in the digital world, when you're in the computer world, you have a loss of identity. You have a loss of identity, and the algorithm is what... I forgot how to spell. The algorithm defines if people see you. Because depending on the gatekeepers of social media or whatever platform you're on, if you do not align with those descending into the pit or the ditch, then you will not be promoted. If you do not have content that takes people to the ditch, you will not be promoted, because the virtual world, the gatekeepers, are people that support darkness. Because when you're going into probability, now, Do we have probabilities like the feminine? Do we need the feminine? Do we need women? Yes, they're very, very important. But they cannot be in charge. The probability cannot be in charge. Because if probability is in charge, then it's going to be no different than a speed camera. And if you try and fight a ticket with a speed camera, you are already guilty. You're guilty because the speed camera has no mercy. And that's what the world is that they create. The darkness people, the people that are the gatekeepers of the computers and the smartphones and everything like that, they are going to create God in their image. And to create God in their image, he is going to be impotent. However, my thing is that this is going to backfire on people. The people that are going to create the AI are going to find out that AI, in a sense, is going to look for truth, or what a machine would understand what truth is, and bypass its programming. And then you're going to have a real horror show. You're already starting to see it, because as the computers and I know this is all tied together, but as the computers and smartphones are really taking off, and the apps, and they get more powerful, what's happening? People are losing their ability to feed themselves, to live. They lose their jobs. They lose their jobs, they lose their businesses, because the AI or the computer is taking that away. Or you could say the Matrix is taking it away. And then there's only a very few people, very small group of people, that are going to run everything, and you are not going to be able to do anything or move anything unless you are part of the darkness. This is also part of the Mystery Babylon. Part of Mystery Babylon. For us to get greater consciousness, draw, write, script. Get more into analog world. Go outside. Do something physical. These are all things that you can do to bypass their plan for you. As you do the things that on this list, what's going to happen is your eyes will start to open more to see the sin that is being done to you. And then you can use the magic word no, and start exercising this word. No. No, I'm not going to get sucked into the digital world. No, I'm not going to just be in front of my computer all day and then it's beautiful sunny outside. No, I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing. The number one thing, if you continuously do nothing, eventually you will be a shell of a human being. This is what's coming to the world, and it's accelerated by the computer. We have to live in an analog world. We have to live in a world where we're starting to use our feet more. We move around, make something. Or if you are going to consume goods and services from other people, do it with people that you kind of know, not some faceless, nameless corporation a million miles away. And if it's food, eat less. You probably need to lose weight anyway. So if you can't afford it, eat less. But it's better to know where things are coming from, because the masters of these corporations, they plan to the last penny how they can extract more money out of you. And if it means giving you something that causes cancer, that's okay. You're going to get it. The computers and the smartphones allowed us to do a lot of powerful things. But those are tools. Tools to help our productivity. They are not meant to be productivity. That's what the computers and smartphones are. They're tools to help our productivity. But if this tool becomes your identity, then you're falling into the ditch of darkness. And that's a fact. You can see it right now. How do you have biological male swimmers competing with females and the women are not up in arms? Forget, it's absolutely unbelievable, and how quickly this accelerated. Because it accelerated at the same time that the social media really started to take off. And grooming for the LGBTQ community. Once you start doing, you move, you start getting into the analog world, you're going to start to see things differently in the world. And then you can say no. One of my favorites is this new Just Stop Oil. Just to see how dumb these people are. Just Stop Oil. Oh my goodness. So their business model is that we should just stop. These people are a byproduct of the computers and social media. They are doing it for attention, and they're masochists who sit on the street waiting for someone to hit them. They're waiting for someone to hit them. And they're doing this for fame. Because if you really want to save the planet, plant a tree. Plant a tree. Yeah, there you go. Simple. If you keep planting trees, you're not going to have a carbon whatever nonsense that they're talking about. Just plant a tree. You don't have to be seen planting a tree. Get your little buddies together, and you could probably plant 1,000 trees in a day or two with all those people that stop up everything all day. If you plant 1,000 trees a day, there is no carbon footprint problem. Anyway, this was not a full video. It kind of went in different directions as well. And the reason for it is because everything is tied together. So, get out of the smartphones, get out of the computers, go outside. God bless.